Welcome back to Trauma, Drama, in Life. It's been a week or so since we've been on, but we've been trying to get back into the rhythm of recording. Life just is always throwing its curveballs. Nothing too crazy this week, but just life. So, where do you want to start? The biggest thing is I got back from my trip, and the biggest thing that came out of that was just diving more into emotional vulnerability. So you can always talk about that. That's fun. It's a fun topic for me.
It was your experience.
Emotional vulnerability has never been my funnest thing to have in my life or be around. And a lot of stuff that came up over the weekend where I was away working on myself that was diving back into stuff in the past that I thought I'd worked on and stuff that I thought I'd already worked through and gotten past, but it still was bringing up different pieces from different people that I used to be with and different instances where I didn't want to lose people. And that was something you even mentioned that, what did I say at the very beginning when we first got together?
You said you don't miss people.
And you thought that was... What did you say the other day?
I don't remember exactly.
You said you thought it was like a load of crap or something.
Oh, yeah, like...
That you thought I was ridiculous or something in that. But you knew it wasn't true.
Because I could just sense, like, how you would interact, like, and want to, like, how much you would want to be around me. Mm-hmm. And you'd be like, but I don't miss people. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I didn't think it was safe to miss people. That was a big thing that really came out of it. There wasn't a safety in missing people, and there was a fear, and there was also like a weakness attached to it. So like if I was missing people, then I thought that was meaning that I was going to be weak, or that I felt like I was weak if I was showing emotion anyway. So that doesn't help with emotional vulnerability, but also just a piece of me that didn't want to lose people, but also didn't want to show that I was even scared of losing people. But in reality, that was like a big piece that came up over the weekend of being scared to lose certain people in my life. And as a result, that produced a whole plethora of things that really ended up having me shut down a lot of the emotional side because it didn't feel like it was safe. Like, why open up to people if I'm going to lose them? And then it kind of self-perpetuated into other relationships, other friendships, other connections, and then later on in marriage, other affair partners, like trying to be able to have a connection, but being too scared to have a connection and pushing people away and vice versa. So that was probably a big aspect. What did you notice different when I came back from the weekend, just like us connecting through the emotional vulnerability aspect?
I think in one sense, like you opened up, but you were still like hesitant. Like, but you were like, you knew that that's what you were supposed to do, but you were still like hesitant.
It still felt like awkward.
Yeah. And there wasn't anything like, it wasn't anything like major. Like,
right. It wasn't anything that we hadn't talked about before. It was just talking about it.
It was just going more into detail about like the emotions attached to the past or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's stuff that we'd already discussed and stuff that you pointed out even early on, of just like how a lot of stuff had been similar, stuff that I'd been struggling with that I didn't even realize that I was struggling with either.
Yeah.
So what?
No, I was just agreeing with you. I didn't know where else you were going.
So, that was just a big aspect of the weekend, was trying to work through this piece of emotional vulnerability. And someone described it as like at the end of the weekend having like an emotional vulnerable hangover. Yeah. Is what it felt like. It felt like I was reeling, trying to be able to figure out life after being that emotionally vulnerable, and then coming home and being really emotionally vulnerable, like stepping into the home.
So it was just like a huge, like, you were all that weekend you're like emotionally vulnerable, like just,
it was like deprogrammed, and just kind of like opened up in a ton of ways.
Back you were, and so
I felt like it helped us connect more emotionally, just because when I came home we just talked about being emotionally vulnerable. Like, I felt even just acknowledging that was something that I was struggling with and that I wanted, that I just didn't know how to have. Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that was probably one thing that was awkward to like think about, talk about, was a piece of wanting to be emotionally vulnerable, but not knowing how to have that. And in my mind, there was different pieces that I'd either tried to create or tried to have with other people in the past, that then my mind wants to always like do a comparison game of like, well, I don't have that now, or I don't have that in my marriage. But all of those pieces were when I was emotionally vulnerable. And then it's me trying to figure out, how do I actually open up to have that emotionally vulnerable, like I have in my notes, like emotionally vulnerable, like free spirit, like a person that's just like we just connect and love and laugh, and the best friend aspect that we've been developing and having.
Yeah.
But it's another level to it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I don't know, what would you say about the whole best friend aspect, I guess?
Yeah, I think that's something that like you're obviously like working on and still working on when it comes to emotional vulnerability, because you already know that like you're my best friend, because oftentimes you're like, all right, you need to go talk to your other friends. So, not in like a rude way. It's not like ever in a rude way. It's just like, all right, like there's only so much I can like listen to right now. And so that was like obviously like before like going to like this intensive and stuff. And so then I feel like since it's only been a couple weeks, I haven't like shared like a ton of stuff, because I'm like, I know you're still like
that you haven't shared a ton.
Yeah, like working through. You're still like working through stuff, so I haven't like had to like come out and be like, look, this is what I'm like thinking, blah 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 blah, and like just lay stuff. So I don't know how he's gonna react when I do that. He might be different. And
why is there stuff you haven't told me that you need?
No, it's just like random things that I would like talk to you about, or like like we've talked about in like therapy about like holding space for my emotions and stuff. Like I haven't had like anything big recently.
Right.
So
sometimes I do a good job.
Yes, sometimes.
Not all the time.
But like it's like one of those things that I'm like, it'd be interesting to see when I do come to like that, like another day that I'm like needing to just you to hold space for my emotions, like how it will be different. So
I think there's been a difference in like I've raised my voice at Sophia, or we've had different moments where our voices have been raised, but I also do feel a different level of calmness after the weekend. And also a level of calmness of where I felt there's been sometimes that I've called stuff out to just try to be able to keep everybody level-headed. Like it's only going to get crazier once Bella gets older and we have 3 women running around the house. Like emotions run wild sometimes. So there is pieces.
More kids. We just
right. There is pieces where it's like everybody, like the other night I was like, everybody just needs to be quiet. Like nothing good is going to come out of anyone's emotions right now. Everybody just needs to be quiet, take some deep breaths. We'll get through this. It'll be okay. But like, I feel like in the past there would be pieces where that would switch over into rage. And like, I wasn't rageful. It was a piece where I was just like, I see it. I acknowledge it. I'm upset. I'm raising my voice, but I wasn't like mad, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's been a piece that I felt has been different. Even I noticed it going, which is ironic, but like going to jujitsu, like there was a piece that inside of like sparring, I was very much more.
I remember when because this was your first week back to jujitsu.
Yeah, because last week I wasn't. I didn't go. Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess it's been like what, 2 weeks almost.
2 weeks, because last week I didn't go, and then this week was first week back.
Yeah, so
it's been 3 weeks since we're doing podcasts.
We did a podcast before you left.
Yeah, and then 2 weeks, and then this would be the 3rd week. Oh no, this would be the 2nd.
This is the 2nd week. I was like, what are you talking about? It hasn't been 3 weeks yet.
It's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
It's like, what are you talking about? It's like,
I don't need time.
Anyways, so yeah, because I asked you on Tuesday. I was like, so how's your first day back to jiu-jitsu? You're like, it was good. It was like weird because I was like calm during sparring. Like
yeah, that felt very different. And like even like movements and stuff in jiu-jitsu don't have to be very fast. They have to be like smooth and technical. And I felt like much more calm and just like slower.
Yeah, doing
stuff, but not in a bad way, because none of I don't remember about Tuesday, but on Thursday, like I didn't tap out on, like nobody like pinned me in one sense. Yeah. So I was like, oh well. So
working out all around, I guess.
What other thoughts do you have on just the emotional vulnerability piece, since I guess that's where we're going with this episode?
I guess. I guess for us, in one sense, like you being emotionally vulnerable has like also opened the way for me to feel like emotionally vulnerable as well. Cause like I struggle with that, but I feel like I'm just like, I've always been like a little bit more like guarded and reserved. Cause I feel like I in one sense, like kind of follow your lead on that. Cause like if I feel like you're being emotionally vulnerable, then I feel like, okay, it's a safe space to share with you versus like if I don't feel like you're being emotionally vulnerable, then I like pull back.
Mm-hmm. I think that's been hard because for a while I've done the same thing, which then doesn't work.
Yeah. That's just like our
Because if we're both like, we'll
They're
be
the same,
emotionally
but
vulnerable
different.
once you're emotionally vulnerable, and then neither one of us are emotionally vulnerable, then that obviously doesn't work. But I think there's been a piece of just being like nervous or worried or scared too at times. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why do you get scared to be emotionally vulnerable with me?
Well, I think just like probably like past. Just like the past. Not that like I'm stuck there or like really dwell on it. I just think it's like subconsciously like there of like how you're going to react to certain things or if you're going to be able to hold space. Like, I mean, like we've talked about, like you do struggle still with holding space. So sometimes with my emotions, like we've even talked about this in counseling, like it's not anything new.
Very new. Yeah.
It's brand new information. But yeah, so I think that's where I feel I like lost my train of thought.
About me being emotionally vulnerable.
Yeah, I literally the thought was there and it went poof into thin air.
Good thought.
Yeah, it was a good
Well,
thought.
if it's a good one, it'll come back.
Because we were talking, yeah, I don't know.
But inside the emotional vulnerability, like it's been a challenge for me to open up and you to open up at the same time. You were saying yours has been.
Oh yeah, because yeah, about the past stuff, or even just sometimes if I feel like it's like a deep thing that I need to like express or something, just with like how sometimes you don't hold space well with my emotions, then I kind of like I'm like more reserved or I'm like tiptoeing around it, and then finally it just kind of like blah.
Either blah or it blows up.
Yeah.
In one sense, yeah. No, I could see that, and it's been a challenge for me to open up, and I think it's been. I mean, after this weekend, I think it's been a couple reasons. One has been the piece of like being scared of losing someone, right? Like that was a big fear of like, if I'm going to lose someone, then I'd rather control them or make sure that they stay in my life or something like that. And then just, yeah, I think a lot of it just boils down to fear, and the fear of like loving and opening up to someone and then having them leave or losing them or there being this like disconnect.
Yeah.
And that's been like the biggest thing. And that was one of the things too that I struggled with. And even like somebody there was like, yeah, but do you see like you're going to lose people no matter what?
Right.
Like people are going to die. You're going to die. Like eventually you're going to lose people in your life that you love. So like, why not, hold space, not hold on to them, but like hold space for that love and that care while they're here, and like view it more as a gift versus otherwise I'd get to a place where I'd be more possessive, right? Because if it's like, I love you because you're mine, right? And then it becomes possessive, then it becomes like property versus it just being like, no, like you're like a gift from God to be in my life and to be able to be thankful and enjoy and love you while you're here and while I'm here.
Yeah.
That's
why you've always said that you just are going to die first.
And then I don't have to worry about it. And I don't have to worry about losing anybody. Y'all get to lose me first.
I remember that's what you always say. So that could happen. Who knows? Only God.
Anyway.
But anyways, yeah. So I think that's like something. I think too, like along the lines of like losing somebody. I think it's also too. Can you just struggle with like emotions? Like you and I both are not like we don't like crying. It just makes us feel ugh.
I've cried more in the past like 2 years, 3 years than I have like my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely been more emotions. And even coming back from the weekend, like I was very much more emotional.
Yeah.
Like music was more triggering and like.
Because you introduced Sophia to like the greatest
showman and how she won't shut up.
Yeah. But like you remember.
She takes soundtracks and then she just murders them. She's like, let me just sing it a million times. Like nonstop.
So we're trying to find the next thing. Like because we like the Radio Showman, but it's also like, all right.
But it's waning on us now. I was really excited to show it to her, and then now I'm like, We need to find something else. So we just need to get
It was
another
Moana
musical.
before this, and then now we like cut
Moana
Moana.
2.
Moana 2, then it went to like originally Moana, and then The Greatest Showman. And so now it's like, all right,
Now we just
what's
need
the
to show her
new
another.
thing? Like,
I
man,
remember we were going to that.
like,
Oh yeah. I introduced her, and like I felt myself like tearing up in different songs just because like emotionally I was just so like open at that point.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
music's always been a powerful emotional trigger, or a way that I could actually early on, a way that I could tap into or express emotions. And then I would get even frustrated because then the songs wouldn't work anymore, or like I'd use up all the songs and then be like, I can't feel anymore, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just being able to express and talk through things has been huge, just work in the area of emotional vulnerability. So that's been the
biggest thing. Yeah. And then there's just been little things throughout, just like little things as far as like just giving yourself grace on certain aspects, or just us being intimate has like changed,
accelerated.
I'm gonna be like,
you opened it up.
Well, I was just
we've had more sex since I came back from my trip. Being emotionally vulnerable ends up having that being more connected too.
No,
well, you brought it up.
Okay, there was a time before you went that we had a streak. This is not the way. All I think about is like our family like listening to this. So
you keep track of it more than I do.
Skip this part.
But yes, we had a streak. And then we came home late or something. We got like super tired. And then after that, it just was like random and back and forth. But then there's been more connection since back, and emotional vulnerability helps with intimacy at the same time.
Yeah.
So
anyways, but yeah, and
giving grace for myself, that was another theme that came up over the weekend, was just giving grace to myself through everything that I've been through, and also everything that I've done and everything that I caused. That was a piece that really felt weird in a safe space to acknowledge. And even coming home felt weird to even acknowledge to you, right?
Yeah.
Like to be able to say, like, I realize I haven't given myself grace for all the things that I've caused and how it's affected me for even causing those things.
Right. Because you, like, obviously you're just like, I shouldn't
feel this way. Grace, or I shouldn't, like, to me, it felt like being like a victim or something like that. But then I also felt even awkward coming back and like sharing that with you, because there was like a piece of me that was scared that you might take it the wrong way, or that you might like think that I was like trying to have like a pity party for myself or whatever. I don't know.
Right. I remember you like sharing like your stack about it, and you're just like, I'm just afraid, like, I don't know how Kayla is going to respond to this, as you're like typing it. It was like, I don't know how Kayla's going to respond, but it's like one of those things that I think, because and it's like I told him, I think that if it was obviously like, if you would have done like this intensive when we were first getting back together, and you like came back and was like, I need to give myself grace, I'd literally probably just like smack you in the face and walk out and be like, F you, like, who are you to say that? Right. But I, like, with all the healing that has happened and all the things that we've gone through and like worked through and all of that, like, I can see how like there is aspects that like the choices that you make in life do affect you in some way. They're like, it's like it can be a good consequence or a bad consequence, and like and so like it still takes like an emotional toll on you, even if you haven't like been able to acknowledge that or see that. And that goes for everybody. It's not just like,
and for me, it was something I never really acknowledged or thought that I was allowed to acknowledge. I think in one sense, like, because I was allowed to feel that way or act that way or whatever.
Because you've acknowledged certain aspects of it, but not like fully like faced it and like, oh, it has caused me like a lot of like emotional like trauma, baggage, whatever. I don't know if trauma is the right word, but like baggage for sure, like of like, oh, well, because it's like, if you wouldn't have done this, then you wouldn't have had this emotional like piece like locked up, or like vice versa, so it's just been
been a lot of stuff that been working on and trying to unlock and trying to work through with therapy and coaching and all different types of pieces that's been happening over the past couple weeks and over the past several years.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
definitely in a different place than what we used to be, for sure.
I know. So it's interesting because I think it's like the first like 2 weeks things are like rewiring, and then it can be up to 6 weeks.
6 weeks, just like new habits, new things are forming, just
yeah,
different aspects that I'm trying to work on mindset and kind of reset things while things are kind of fresh to be reset and all.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was a weekend, and that was stuff that came out of just my intensive away, and so now we're working on connecting and growing, developing inside of that, and working on our emotional vulnerability with it. So now that I know that
got challenges, but
mine has to open up first for you to feel safe, for you to open up, because like that's just a step that I have to work on and take on more.
Oh yeah, because when you're on the way home, I like sent you a text. Don't remember what it 100% what it was, but it
was about how you did everything without me. And at first I thought it was like I'm strong, independent, so I don't need you anymore. But then it was like I didn't realize how much I actually rely on you.
Yeah.
To like help get stuff done.
Yeah. So it was like even just like that aspect of like because I think you had sent part of that stack or sent a stack or something, and so then it just like led me to like open up and be like, hey, I appreciate you, and this is why I appreciate you, because for the longest time, like we always struggle saying that like I don't let him do anything or I don't ask him for help or whatever, but like him being away and me doing everything, I was like, oh, I actually do rely on him for a lot of things, and then I just don't have expectations, and then I get mad. So then it just
don't have
causes
set expectations.
Yeah, set expectations. It was like all in my head because like I like did things the way that I wanted to, and like we got out the door and like at a certain time and like all of this stuff, and I was like, why can't we do this when it's 2 of us? Because if I could do it with just one of me, like, so I was like, by the way, I appreciate you, and I do rely on you for a lot of things because I got everything done in set amount of time and made it to church on time, made it to activities on time, like all of this stuff. But then I just don't give you set expectations because I just think that you're going to do something in this
on different
time.
pages.
Yeah.
We're both thinking or planning stuff differently.
And we've noticed that in just like the last like couple of weeks where it's like we'll say something and then we're saying literally like the same thing, but just in like opposite.
No, the best one was the license plate. The other day we were coming home, the license plate. And I'm like, I can't tell. I think that's a Florida license plate. And you're like, no, it's a Georgia plate. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure that's not a Georgia plate. It's a Florida plate. And we're literally like getting ready to argue about this. And then she finally points at the car. We're both talking about 2 different cars.
He's talking about the car in front, and I was talking about the other car because we were both talking about how they were crazy drivers. And I was like, oh, they're from out of town. And he was like, pretty sure they're not. That's a Florida license. I was like, they literally are out of town. That's a Georgia license.
So we realized in the moment that there's times we're both completely right, but we have no clue what we're talking about. So that doesn't help communication sometimes. But
so
unset expectations, we could probably unpack that a whole episode as well. But we need to work on our expectations of each other.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a process. And I learned how to do that with emotional vulnerability.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to throw in before we wrap up tonight?
I don't know. I was trying to think if there was anything else, any other updates any random thing.
It's just been life. So
yeah. Dog ran away, had to get the dog. Like
there's
something. It's like just something.
Okay, that wasn't my fault on Sunday. I mean, you can call it my fault because I was loading the car and I didn't notice you ran out the door. But
I always have these funny stories to tell, like in these podcasts. Like
she's like, when you were gone, I got out the door on time for church, and then when I'm home, the dog runs away. Literally 2 minutes before we're supposed to leave for church.
And I'm like,
drive around like 4 blocks, and he's like 2.5 blocks away, walking back towards the house, just prancing along.
This Sunday stroll, apparently.
Sophia yells out the window, Charlie, and then we pull off to the side of the road. He walks up the car and just looks at the door like, why is it not opening for me? And gets in, we come home, put him in his cage, and then...
It was just like funny, because I feel like the last few episodes, we've had just something funny happen.
And the toilet overflowing. And all the water getting backed up.
Her window.
The window breaking, yeah.
Now it's the dog.
There'll be something. So It just helps you see we have normal lives. They're just normal and crazy and wild. And our 5-year-old is going on 16, and we're dealing with the challenges of parenting with a five-nager.
Yeah.
Our attitude is 100%.
She's almost 6, and she is 100% on point. That's
her
6
attitude.
going on 16.
What was it tonight? I asked her to do something. She was sitting on the couch and she was like, "How do you say it?" No. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
I literally had to put my head down. The entire conversation at dinner, I was literally looking at the floor laughing because he was just taking care of it because I had already dealt with it earlier.
Was on the couch. I just could not believe that. She was just sitting there. She walked away. She was supposed to be eating, and she got up. And I was like, "Come back to the table." And she's like, "How do you say it?" No. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Oh,
just
parenting opportunity for growth. So we try to work through challenges. It was responses, and nature to want to respond.
Your nature, opposite. Correct. In your nature, you want to respond in a not.
What did you just say?
Right, in this, all right, you're throw the gauntlet down.
The foot is down.
Yeah,
right.
But it's okay, take a deep breath.
She's already expressed. She's tired. She's grumpy. She's angry at the world today. There's been a lot of things she's said today. And I'm mad at everyone today. Everyone's mean to me today.
She literally woke up and was like, "I'm mad and I'm tired. Dad woke me up super."
Yes, that was it. She's like, "Dad woke me up super early." And the cleaner was coming a little bit earlier today. And so I went into her room and her sound machine goes off at 9. And I turned off her sound machine off at, I think it was 6. It was at 8:58.
This should tell you she's a teenager already. Our 5-year-old, almost 6-year-old, sleeps till 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, she could easily
sleep if we would continue to let her.
Yeah, she could easily just sleep till 11 probably. But that's because she stays up all night playing in her bed.
So she's like a night owl, so she doesn't like getting up early. Anyways, but he woke her up 2 minutes early. 2 minutes. And the world...
because Dad woke me up too.
So early. But then the other day, we had a field trip with Co-op, and she got up at 7 a.m., and that was not
perfectly
fine. Early.
Yeah, it wasn't early. But today
it was so early.
So we could definitely have lots of stories. We'll take notes on the kids, and then we can laugh about our parenting when we come back. Yeah. So anyways, we're gonna wrap
this up. Still a work in progress.
I didn't expect this to go 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So
anyways,
we
stayed.
No worries.
That's what.
Thank y'all so much. We're heading out for the night, so y'all have a blessed and a wonderful evening. This wraps up another episode on season 3. If you haven't had a chance, depending on where you're watching or listening to this, there is Trauma Drama in Life on YouTube. Also, we are on Instagram as well, and then also on our podcasts and everything too. So we're starting to get out there, trying to get the video out there just so we can connect, talk about our lives, just be real and raw with you guys of what's happening in our world, and hopefully provide some laughter as well with how normal and natural and crazy life actually is. So that's the drama part and the life part. So y'all have a blessed, wonderful evening, and we'll see y'all next time.